Here we are for the third update of our hoop house, our third monthly visit, 3 months after things were planted. Let's see how things are doing now. Well, the first thing you can notice is that there are a lot of plants in here now. And last time we were here we had some concerns about how things were pollinating, and you can see here from taking a look at the pepper plants that there's no problem with pollination there. A few mosquitoes that are living in here. And here's the eggplants. And you can see flowers here. And these are one of our little bit of a mystery here because we've got not so many. Here's one eggplant that's growing down here, but it's kind of slow. And we got many more eggplants on this side and this plant, but again, it's the biggest one. I'll put my finger on there so you can see. And it's not the biggest eggplant, so it's kind of a slow proposition here. But there are many of them, and probably next month we'll probably see many more. And we can see the pepper plant here, the green pepper plant. It's loaded with peppers. And our jalapenos are getting pretty near ready to pick. If we heated a hot jalapeno right there, that could be ready now. And our tomatoes, the sun gold tomatoes, are probably the most amazing thing here. I have to get back to be able to see them. They're just climbing up and trying to fill up the whole place. And we're now getting enough ripe sun golds. Pretty much there's a few more back in there, then more around here. We're almost getting enough to keep us satisfied with those. So the sun golds are doing good, and of course all the little orange flowers here are continuing to look happy. The marigolds like it in here. And then here I've saved this for a couple days because it's so impressive. Here's our first really ripe celebrity tomato, and you can see how big that is. If I put my hand back here, it's a good full fistful of tomato. And after I take this, I'm going to pick it. Here's another one down here getting ripe. So tomatoes are really beginning to happen. And you may remember I talked about the problems with the leaf curl, and you can see this is a good example of how well the treatment I did stopped it. This was really the worst plant in terms of how much leaf curl the leaves have, and I sprayed it a couple of times with a combination of a copper dust that you put in water, and the brand name is Kocide, K-O-C-I-D-E, and then Serenade, which is a pretty widely commercially available organic spray. And you can see now in the upper half of these tomato plants, the leaves are all completely uncurled, and that's true really throughout. So my treatment really arrested it at the point where it started. And then coming around here, we see the zinnias are making a glorious stand of zinnias, and our house has a continuous bouquet of zinnias that I keep replacing. And then here are our heirloom tomatoes. Again, the plants are looking very healthy, and all of them have some tomatoes on them. This one's got a kind of, not sure what I should be doing with this. It has an awful lot of green growth. There's a few tomatoes on it, but clearly the one that's kind of the strangest from my point of view. But this one here has lots of green tomatoes on it. Let's see, what is the brand name of this one? I have lost a little tag for that. Oh well, and then back is where we're getting our ripe tomatoes right now on a regular basis, and this is called a Stupice, S-T-U-P-I-C-E, and they're quite delicious cucumbers. I mean, very delicious tomatoes. Still trying to figure out what this particular plant is, and I'm really surprised that the little tag isn't there, but it isn't. And then our cucumbers. You can get a whole view here. You see that these vines have been very healthy and happy, and we're now getting more cucumbers than we know how to eat. And there is this occasional leaf like this, which is not happy, but I'll just pull them off. Overall, things are good. Here's a little cucumber, and I'm sure down here there will be some bigger cucumbers. We really have all the cucumbers we can eat. As a result, I actually pulled out all the vines in the back. I had put another row of vines in the back here, thinking that I would need that, but it's more than I need, and really was just blocking the sun from the ones in the front. So there's our cucumbers, and also probably got to show you what the more full-size cucumbers look like. And these are Persian cucumber, and I highly recommend them to everyone. They are thin-skinned, sweet, delicious, never bitter, and are just a great all-around cucumber. And then we have some of our lemon cucumbers. Here's a typical example. I'm not as impressed by those. I think next year, none of those. And here's our melons, which are pretty cute. We've got a couple of them in their bags. Again, I'll put my hand out here so you can kind of get a feeling. It's about as big as my hand right now. And there's a lot of them. We've got many of these, so we have many months left to go in our growing season here, so I'm sure we will have very many melons. So overall, everything is really happy and doing well. We're starting to really reap the rewards of this on a daily basis now. And just finish with a little picture of these beautiful eggplants.